Mark, if the first half was uneventful, the second was far from that. It was a well-deserved and valuable 3 points today.
Very valuable, certainly. It's taken a while for us to score a goal, and I'm glad it got entertaining because the first half was turgid. But we actually called the game being a bit like that. It sometimes can be very, very scruffy, horrible game, and it never really showed any signs of being anything other than that. In the first half, it was so stop-start. It was so much out of play time, so many restarts, and the game was really frantic. And we never really brought any periods of control to it, and got lured into a little bit of a frantic game. So we had to find our way a little bit. In fairness, like both teams, our lads trained brilliantly all week, weren't in yesterday, they come in and play today. The changes obviously Lloyd's injury in the first half disrupts us a little bit more. And it's about 16 days between games, which is a heck of a long time for us. So there's probably loads of contributing factors, but we did feel the game might look a bit like that today, and we needed to make sure we were a good restart team. So there's very little to report on the first half other than an injury probably, and we were delighted to get in level because it's hard, and they're a tough team to play against. And yeah, the second half came alive a little bit, and people go home happy, which is good because they've waited a while for that.
Yeah, I was going to say they're and approved to be all season. In fact, last season as well, Shrewsbury, an obstinate side, a resilient side, difficult to break down, but even more so, you've won the game today by coming from behind. How pleased are you with the character shown by the side?
I think that is massive actually, because it's a really tough game for Greg to come in on after 15 minutes when he hasn't played for a while, and you lose Lloyd and you can get a bit disheartened by that, but we didn't. The game looks like it looks first half. You can get a bit despondent at half time thinking, we've got to go and do that another 50 minutes and try and get something from the game. That's not easy. Joey's sick as a dog really. He's been throwing up all day yesterday and again today, but he comes on and works his socks off. They then lose Dunks. We're then playing with a winger at left back, and they're putting 6'4" players and hitting diags all the time. We've changed the shape a couple of times throughout the game. It's one of them games that was just so many challenges. And I think the biggest challenge on top of that, or in addition to that, is when you do fall behind against a team that don't surrender leads or chances. The fact we scored so quickly was probably a major thing for us in the game. And what a brilliant goal it was from Shai. But for us to get back in the game and to win it is majorly important, and we had to make a lot of changes throughout the day. So players have handled that brilliantly, and we get 3 points that we're really grateful for.
Yeah, you must have been concerned, obviously, when Shrewsbury take the lead, but as you quite rightly say, Charlotte Tracy very quick to react, and a player off the bench, and an absolutely superb goal to get you back into the match. Yeah,
well, a game that was quite physical. We needed to make it a little bit more technical if we could after the first half, but you always think with it being a physical game, you're physical players, and Shiloh's very different physical to what Joey is, but both of them I always had in mind at half time as changes in the game. They probably happened earlier than we were planning on, because I actually thought we got a good grip of it and Jack was finding a bit more space, but when Dunks went down we had to make a double change because we obviously only had one more occasion where we could make it because we made one in the first half, and Dunk was marking Dunkley, who's their best first contactor in the box. So we lose Dunk, we're going to have to put Joey on as a marker because we know Shiloh isn't one. A million things to think about in that game today and so many decisions to make. Changing shape to 4-4-2 didn't help us for the first 5 or 10 minutes. They scored and got the game rolling, and then once we got control of the game, the front two really helped us, and then we changed it again and went to a 3 in midfield and so on. So it was quite fun actually in the end, because it made us think quite a bit about it today. Yeah, and
Sam Smith pouncing on the loose ball, and a very different goal to Shiloh Tracy, but no less quality in terms of the finish.
I mean, Shies was great when they tried to double up and stop him coming inside, but what a hit and a brilliant timed goal really, because it was so soon after ours. And then Sam pounces very well, and they're not easy when you've got that long one-on-one with the goalkeeper. It's set up lovely for him. He's finished it really well. And then the game becomes horrible at the end because they just kept putting 6'4" strikers on the pitch, and you think we're running out of markers here, but we knew what it was going to look like. But I'm really pleased with the effort of the players and the character that they've shown. Last time here against Plymouth, I thought we played really well. Today, I think we've done enough to win the game in what was at times a scruffy, horrible game. But between those two games, the lads have put some brilliant work in as well. So it gives us a little boost of confidence that we need. We're going to be a bit light on numbers again now. So we've got to get through what is going to be a very tough couple of away games in the next 7 days. But probably 2 games you can't look forward to much more than them ones.
Yeah, and you look back on that last 15, 20 minutes or so, there seemed to be so much time that needed to be eaten up. I think the referee held up 7 minutes of added time. played nearly 9. There was a red card, and there was a bit of controversy. It looked like, in terms of that, whether firstly he was going to give a free kick and what colour the card was going to be. So,
yeah, I mean, I think the fact that they communicate with each other, sometimes we don't see it, like the officials take their time and talk to each other, so we all get frustrated because we think they're not doing anything, but they're talking about things and making decisions in very quick time. So I don't think there's much argument with that. I thought it was the right call. And obviously it helped us because it just meant that a big threat for them came off the pitch and made it a little bit more of an exciting one. But yeah, it was like being in Qatar, wasn't it, for 14 minutes of added time across the game. It was a long afternoon. I always felt it would be, but to hang on and get a result is really good for everybody.
And the two negatives initially from the game: Harrison Dunk carried off on a stretcher, Lloyd Jones taken off in the first half, looked like a shoulder injury, and no Ibs and Rossi in the squad today. What's the situation with those three, Mark?
Yeah, we can't catch a break at the minute. Dunk's ankle, so he's going to go for an X-ray and hopefully rule anything out there in terms of a fracture. So we'll just wait to hear that one and see what sort of damage there is ligament-wise. So we won't know that for a few days. Lloyd, a bit of an issue with his shoulder, ligament-wise in there. So again, go for a scan. We'll see how that is, but that will probably keep him out for a little period of time. And Zeno in the week has picked up the most innocuous training ground injury in his toe, which he's had to have surgery on and will miss probably the best part of 3 months. So that is a little bit symbolic where we are at the minute. The injury report came through from the EFL this week where you do your audit of injuries, and we are really low in our league for the number of injuries, but really high for the severity of them this year. And it's certainly been one of those that we've just been thrown everything. But the lads are responding very well. They're a resilient group of players. The ones that are out are chasing to get back soon. And obviously we can add to the group in a week's time, which we'll do as well. So we'll need that window to open. But until then, we've got this spirited group of players that have had a real boost of confidence today to go and attack the 2 games that are ahead of us that should be really exciting.
And in terms of today as a standalone game, obviously it's a late Christmas present almost, isn't it, getting the 3 points? How much belief and confidence does it give the squad and yourselves as a group heading into those 2 tough games? Yeah,
I mean, hopefully everybody. I think when you look at that 3 games in 7 days, you'd look at that and say any sort of handful of points, 3, 4, 5, you'd probably say is not a bad return. When you start with 3, that really helps you, because then you say, right, go on then, what can we take from these 2 away games? And you wouldn't bet against us going and getting a shock result somewhere, because it's what we do. So that's what we've got to try to do. So the players will be boosted by that. We haven't had the winning feeling here for a while. We haven't had coconuts for a while. It seems blooming ages since people have seen us score. So I'm so happy we've scored 2 goals and people have gone away bouncing. And I hope the second half livened up a little bit and no one left at half time, because I wouldn't have blamed them if they went home to watch a film. So hopefully they stayed and stuck around and they can get home for the sausage rolls and be really, really happy with the performance of the players that have given everything to get us a result which we needed.
Thanks, Mark. Well done today.
Pleasure.